Round 1 in Bahrain, and it's lights out and away we go. Nikita Mazepin establishes himself as Mazepin literally 15 seconds into his F1 career. Red Bull are seemingly able to keep pace with the Mercedes, giving F1 fans hope for the first time in 8 years. Max makes a move on Lewis, but overtakes off track and has to give the position back, and that's race 1 with Lewis taking the win. Round 2 in Imola, and Charles Latifi spins on the formation lap as per. Mick Schumacher feels bad about Mazepin getting all the flack, so he joins the party and fucks it into the barriers. Hamilton forgets to turn and fancies a beach day in the pouring rain before George Russell decides to invade Finland and gives it a smack for good measure. Sushi Tsunoda goes Tokyo drifting, and Max Verstappen wins the race. Round 3 in Portugal was an absolute banger, in an alternate reality where bangers are absolute snooze fests. Round 4 in Barcelona, and Lewis gets his 100th pole. Max makes an aggressive move at the start to take the lead, but Mercedes pull a big brain strategy to give Lewis the win, which involves disregarding Valtteri's existence, which he's pissed about.
Traditions.
Round 5 in Monaco, and Charles Latifi puts on a great show for the home crowd. No matter, he's still on pole position for the race.
Oh, the gearbox goes.
Not only will Charles Leclerc not start from pole position, he will not start the Monaco Grand Prix. No!
Mercedes' incompetent pit crew set the record for the longest pit stop ever. Norris laps the happiest driver on the grid, waving goodbye, and Max wins the race, taking the lead of the championship. The title fight is on. Round 6 in Baku was red flag galore in every qualifying session. At the race start, Lewis drives past the Scarlet Ferrari like it isn't even there. Lance Stroll's tyre decides that functioning normally is overrated, and Max Verstappen's tyre decides it will learn a thing or two from that. The race is red flagged, and at the restart, Lewis Hamilton is steaming with excitement at the 25 points he's going to pull over his championship rival, but gets too excited and forgets that he has to turn left to stay on the track, handing Perez his first win for Red Bull. Round 7 in France, and this time, Max forgets he has to turn to stay on the racetrack, giving Lewis the lead. But Red Bull pull an Uno reverse on Mercedes' big brain strategy from Barcelona, and Max takes the lead at the second last lap to win the race. Round 8 at the Styrian Grand Prix, and Pierre Gasly fancies being the filling in a carbon fiber sandwich. Max Verstappen pulls the cockiest power slide to take the checkered flag, almost 40 seconds clear of P2. Round 9 at the Red Bull Ring again, because the FIA forgot this isn't 2020 and they don't need to repeat racetracks anymore. And George Russell makes it to Q3 in a Williams, with Norris making it on the front row. Lando Norris shoves Perez off the track, getting a 5-second penalty, and Perez liked that move so much he did the same thing to Leclerc, but did it twice just for good measure. Hamilton gets damage from the curb, losing his podium position, and his grip on the championship is loosening, with Max 32 points ahead. Round 10 at Silverstone, and Hamilton tries to murder Max to try and close the 32-point gap, giving Leclerc the lead of the race, which he maintains for almost the entire thing, before he sees Lewis right behind him. Deciding that P2 is better than being murdered as well, he goes off the track, giving Lewis the win, who actually pulls 25 points over his championship rival, remembering to stay on track throughout this time. Round 11 at the Hungaroring, and Bottas fancies a bit of bowling, no doubt to get a nice bonus from the big boss. At the restart, Hamilton fancies a bit of alone time instead of pitting for slick tyres on a dry track like literally everyone else on the grid, and then pits a lap later, coming out last. Verstappen is fighting a horse thanks to the bowling ball, and Alonso pulls off an absolute masterclass in defense against Hamilton, which allows Ocon to get his first Grand Prix win. Round 12 at Spa, George Russell pulls out an insane quali lap in the wet to qualify on the front row again in a Williams. Come Sunday, everyone's excited to return to racing after 4 weeks of the summer break, and Spa does not disappoint.
It is time to go back to the pit lane again. The race will not resume.
Round 13 at Zandvoort, and Vettel fancies a bit of Tokyo drifting around the banking. James comes on the radio.
Valtteri, it's James. Please abort the fastest lap attempt before the end of the lap.
And the bowling ball takes that personally, not only setting the fastest lap, but a new lap record altogether.
James, it's Valtteri.
Fuck you.
Nice.
And Max wins his home race for the first time. Round 14 at Monza, and Daniel Ricciardo rises from the dead to qualify next to Norris and take the lead of the race at the start. The Wizards of Formula 1 pit stops pull a Mercedes from Monaco, and a rapid 11-second pit stop for Max sees Hamilton close the gap to Verstappen, who comes out of his stop right next to Max. Can you guess what happens next?
He hits the sausage curb as well. That's what throws it back into the path of Lewis and then up into the air.
Daniel Ricciardo gives McLaren their first victory in 9 years, and Norris comes second to round off a 1-2. Round 15 in Russia has Max starting in P20. Lando takes the lead and is about to get his first win before the rain starts to come down, and he decides to stay out on slicks, obviously being able to predict the weather better than his engineer who has a weather radar in front of him. That went well. Lando sliding off gives Lewis his 100th career win, and Max pulls some recovery drive to go from P20 to P2. Round 16 at Turkey, and Red Bull pull up with one of the sexiest liveries ever. Bottas chooses the Turkish Grand Prix for his obligatory one race each year, where he storms the entire field, and takes the win with the fastest lap. Round 17 at Austin, and Hamilton jumps Max at the start. Ferrari and McLaren fight like they're fighting for the championship on lap 1, and after an intense last few laps with Hamilton chasing Max, Max takes the win. Round 18 at Sao Paulo, and Lewis pulls up loaded on Adderall. Goes from P20 to P5 in the sprint race, P10 to P5 in 2 laps in the actual race, and then storms past everyone to take the win. Lewis Hamilton show through and through. Round 19 at Qatar, F1's first venture onto this track. The tyres don't like the curbs on this track, and they start popping for fun towards the end of the race for multiple drivers. Alonso tiptoes his way to the flag and gets his first podium since his return, and Lewis wins again. Round 20 at Saudi Arabia, the penultimate race of the season, and Mercedes lock out the front row. Mick Schumacher crashes, as per, bringing out a red flag. The race restarts, and the bowling ball almost does it again. Lewis crashes into the back of Max, Toto goes wild, Lewis wins the race, and Bottas just nabs P3 at the line. Round 21 at Abu Dhabi, and the protagonists are on level points. Max gets pole, but Hamilton jumps him on the start. He's driving off into the distance, but then Perez plays the ultimate team game, bringing Max back into contention. But Hamilton just drives off again, and it looks like it's all over. But then, Nicholas Latifi does Latifi things, and crazy controversial moments later, this happens.
Championship can only be won by one, and it's going Dutch in 2021!
I'm not saying anything about the controversy here, but I'm wrapping this video up by saying that as an F1 fan, I'm so grateful for the 2021 season. No matter who you supported on that night, it was the conclusion to the most exciting season F1 fans got to witness in forever. Just for kicks, I'm gonna throw in an audio clip of my friends and I reacting to what happened on the last lap, and it's not that hard to guess who we were supporting. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.